Yeah, that's crazy. You can't say that.
My loser was going to be Xavier Leggett because he openly said that he eats raccoons.
You're right. Let's check in on everyone since we actually have a full cast today. Absolutely amazing. Muck, well, we can start over here. How you doing?
I'm not doing well. I was at the bar for 14 straight hours yesterday, and
Jesus.
now I'm in pain.
What time did you start?
I started at like 11. I got to the bars at noon. I left the bars at 2 a.m.
Yes, so you were drinking for how many? You were at the bars for 14 hours, but you were most likely drinking for like 16 hours.
Yeah. That's quite a stat. I had probably my stat line yesterday was probably like minus 250 bank account, maybe more. 0 food eaten, and
zero?
like,
You didn't eat
This
once.
is a stinker.
20 beers, 25 beers, probably.
If you were a random person and you listen to this is episode 8 or 9, I believe now. You've shown up completely in the dog water for 3 of these, completely hungover. These people probably think you're the biggest raging alcoholic on the planet.
Well, the thing is, we're going to be on
Yeah, they
YouTube
wouldn't
soon.
be wrong.
So now they're going to see. They're going to put the face to the man.
Well,
Yeah.
I saw Harrison's story on Snapchat last night, and I'll tell you, I knew by looking into your eyes. That it was your
Yeah.
your
His
eyes.
girlfriend,
The elf.
his girlfriend
costume didn't
posted
help
something.
either.
Yeah. No, my eyes at one point maybe they were glued shut.
All right. I mean,
Pinjamin.
seems like you're a little busy. Everyone else doing good? Lando, I know they haven't heard you yet.
Yeah, it's all right. It's
Me
for the
and
best,
Roger.
bro.
Well,
I'm just
Word
listening.
count.
I'm just taking everything in, bro.
He forgot how the podcast works. He's so confused
It's
what's
been a
going
while.
on right now.
No.
He's like, wait, we're supposed to talk to each other? I thought I was here to read off the scores.
That's what my contribution is for today. I'm still just picturing Muck in an elf costume all yesterday. It was absolutely hilarious. If anyone got
You
blessed
don't
with
have to
Snapchat or
picture it.
two.
You can. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I wish I was
Oh,
there.
those are some tight pants.
I could only imagine. How are the ladies? How are the ladies looking?
I was with 0.
You were with
So-
0 ladies?
Yeah.
He was
There was
talking.
no
He
fines
He was talking
around it.
some. He was talking some big game to me. He made a bet from 6 months from now. So stay tuned. Stay tuned if that hits
I'm
or
so
not.
excited. What the heck is going on?
Absolutely out of the blue. You won't even. I didn't even know why he was thinking of it, but clearly he was in probably hour 10 of his day yesterday. But I'll let you
Do
guys
you
know.
remember the bet, Muck?
No. Yeah, I remember this.
Tune back
I
in
stand by it.
July, and I'll let you know if it comes true or not.
I don't
This is
even.
some nasty work.
I don't even-
I think.
Yeah. Yeah, this is disgusting.
Land, on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is he to complete this bet, would you say?
Out of 10,
Yeah.
probably a 3 or 4.
Cool. Wow. Yeah. No. We're just
Oh.
chatting. We're just catching up.
The suggested accounts on TikTok also were worthy of a discussion, I would say.
Mm.
That was
It's very interesting that one
interesting.
person in this chat called out a name that I wasn't even worried about. Someone else
Oh,
was,
you weren't even worried about when you saw it in the screenshot? That's crazy.
I
know
so
exactly.
happened to be in the screenshot.
Yeah,
It
you
was just
screenshot
in
and
the
you're like, oh,
screenshot.
it just happened to be. I didn't even know it was there. My ass. Kenny, you
Your
noticed everything.
Your number's with the account. What am I supposed to do? Not screenshot? You want me to crop?
Kenny's like, should I crop?
And send.
You wanted to stir the
alright.
pot, and the pot was stirred. I'll tell you that. And then Muck got in his feelings.
No.
Wow. Certified lover boy.
That's hilarious. I thought it was hilarious.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Remotely Related. Each week, we're going to break down the wildest moments in sports, dive into the latest social trends, and connect it with all of our stories in between. So sit back, relax, and let's jump right into this week's episode.
But,
Days.
obviously our weekends were a bunch of bullshit. But what wasn't bullshit this weekend was the Premier League. And we saw quite a lot of things going on. And I think it's only right that we can begin the episode with Lando taking us through these weekend scores.
I mean, first one was Arsenal-Everton 0-0 at the Emirates.
That shit was more boring than a Sunday morning stroll.
What kind of
like a
comparison?
good walk every now and then?
What kind of you do not walk your cat or anything?
Well, Everton. All right,
right.
Arsenal-Everton. Kenny, you can lead us off with this because the Arsenal fans really do not like the things I say about their club, so I don't want to talk about it too much.
So, I mean, 73% possession first half. A lot of possession that just didn't turn into anything. I guess we can call out first Martin Odegaard. Some questions need to be answered. Why isn't he clinical? Why are we only just realizing this? But for people who didn't watch, I think there was a clear-cut opportunity that he should have scored. It was very similar to the Champions League performance midweek when he had a one-on-one as well. But I don't want to just keep shitting on Arsenal since we have Arsenal fans here. But there's some conversations that need to be had about Mikel Arteta. And before I do that, I just want to have you guys have your opinion or say on any highlights that you saw, anything that is brought to your attention before I have my take on Arteta.
Yeah, I saw the chance, the Odegaard chance. Definitely should have scored. Is what it is. We're not contenders.
No.
I mean,
Are you not?
We're drawing to Everton. I mean, let's be honest here. If you're dropping points to these clubs, you're not going to be. We're 5 points back now from
6.
From second. Yeah.
4 points back from second, yeah. I'd just say it's a missed
So
opportunity. Missed opportunity, especially with the results around the league. Didn't really take advantage of it, and that's probably going to be one of the ones where you kind of look back on and figure out why didn't you get 3 points there? Because that should be 3 points.
I can tell you
every single day
why
of the week.
3 points. They didn't get 3 points because their XG from set plays was 0.17, 0.17. So that's why. Usually it's flipped. Their XG from open play was 1.05. Their XG from set plays was 0.17. That's why they didn't get 3 points. Because they had 15 shots, right? Let's see. I got the stats up. Total shots, 13. 5 blocks. Anyway. I mean, we've said it multiple times before. They just can't finish. Like, that's why they get so many corners. They cannot finish the ball. They get down there, they cross the ball, never connects. So they tie games. Or they score on
have to get a
set pieces.
striker in the January window. Like,
Yeah.
no question. If they do not bring in a striker, what are we doing?
Do you have some names that you'd like to see, or just?
I mean, there's guys out there. I like Isak a lot.
Isak. I mean,
You
what
do you
about
think he's a
let me ask-
January? You think that's a January transfer?
No, not for January.
Okay.
But that's someone that's who I would want to bring in. I don't think because this year, I think it's going to be, by Christmas, it's going to be too far gone even, I think. It's in like 2 weeks.
Is Liverpool just...
No,
I mean,
they're
it's
not going to
kinda-
dog walk it. No. Let's stay on
I think-
Arsenal. I have a question. Do you think Odegaard would be better playing primarily as an 8 compared to him playing as a 10?
No.
Yeah, no.
I feel
Needs
like
to be around the
with
18.
with what him, Saka, and like Timber, like usually those three, what they have going on, I think that's working really well. The problem with Arsenal, I would say, is Mikel Merino. Some uncomfortable conversations need to be had about this transfer. I think people are starting to realize that he's quite average.
It's
And
unnecessary.
it's a bit unnecessary when clearly goals aren't coming from Kai Havertz or whoever else is at the 9. And yeah, it's taking away from Declan Rice as well, because now I feel like what Arteta's doing with Declan Rice, there's no fluidity, there's no like understanding of what Declan Rice has to do in his role. And now you're just seeing the whole midfield get impacted by it, because now there's no attacking threat on the left side. Now there's some misunderstandings, and you're just seeing a very, all the players for Arsenal's midfield are at like the same level, like in those like 8s and like 6 positions, and there's nothing that's really outstanding. So that's kind of why you're seeing 0-0s against Everton.
I think I don't want to give Arteta a pass, because we talked last week about Pep's decisions in the transfer window. How they haven't bought a striker yet, it's solely on him. Like, I'm not having that it's anyone else's fault. He's chosen to go this route to continue to play Havertz as striker. I actually think left winger might be a bigger problem for them right now than striker. Because
I feel like Martinelli just never really does everything.
Yeah, he had a couple.
He's so inconsistent.
Yeah,
he had a couple good seasons, but
he doesn't.
Yeah,
like
I would sell him.
Every time he's in the game, I forget he's in the game. That's how I feel every time he's in a starting lineup.
I think we can get solid money for him still. I would sell him in January if we can.
You would sell him in January?
Yeah. Get money.
This guy's ruthless. This guy's ruthless.
Say less. Say less.
He doesn't have time for that
he's good.
bullshit.
He's good, and like it's not like that he's not. He's inconsistent though, and if we want to be a title contending team, we need a better.
So
you don't even need. I don't even think you need like an incredible left winger. You kind of need like honestly like a Gakpo type of guy that is in and out of the 11, but you can count on him to score. Like, you just need another guy that can help score goals if you're going to have Havertz playing the 9, which it seems like he's not going to change that. Havertz is going to play the 9.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know. Arsenal is just an enigma to me. We can talk about it as much as we want, but it baffles me.
Vinicius Jr. would be a nice addition to that left wing. So.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's who you
actually
need.
worry.
Yeah.
Word on the street, Messi's coming back to play for Arsenal too.
He's pretty consistent, and I would say he probably qualifies in Muck's better left wing evaluation.
We could probably get some. Yeah, that Martinelli money. We'll spend it on Vinicius Jr.
Yeah,
Right.
should be pretty comparable. Maybe
You
a few
could
discounts.
probably
Some
get
new investors or something. Like, no.
I don't know if it would be an upgrade on Martinelli, but I'd imagine that Grealish is going to be for sale in the summer.
I
don't know if that's any better,
but we don't even need to talk about Grealish right now.
I was just saying he'll probably be
have
for
his
sale.
moment a little later.
I'm just saying he might be available.
One thing that I did want to call out is that Martin Odegaard only played 60 minutes, and he was substituted for Ethan Nwaneri. And when you
That's
need
your
a goal,
guy.
Oh, of course. I mean, he's class. Like, I love it. But it's an interesting substitution. I don't know how you guys feel, but if you need a goal, I feel like Martin Odegaard should still be on the pitch. Any thoughts here?
Yeah, I agree.
It's
You're
like
bringing
taking
on.
Bruno
Is
off.
he 19?
I think he's 18.
18, yeah.
18 or 19? I mean, yeah, you just got to trust your guy. 60th minute, you got 30 more minutes to, be...
I get, like, wanting to try and change something up because it clearly wasn't working, but how is Odegaard the player that comes off for him? Like it needs to be someone else.
There's certain teams that guys do not leave the pitch unless they're winning 2-0. Like, Holland does not leave the pitch. Salah does not leave the pitch. Saka does not leave the pitch. Bruno should never leave the pitch. Cole Palmer should never leave the pitch. Like, I think Odegaard has to be in that position because, yes, he was playing
He was hurt, though.
atrociously. He was playing atrociously, and maybe he had a knock. But other than Saka, he is the only player that's going to create anything in open play for them.
I agree.
I agree.
And this is kind of where it comes from with Arteta for me. The fact that Kai Havertz got to stay on the pitch, the fact that Mikel Merino got to stay on the pitch a little longer. If you actually want to go for it, why not try like Winieri on the left side 8 and then Odegaard next to him? Why not just have like Declan Rice as the pivot or Thomas Partey and kind of just really go all out attack on it? Because obviously the chances were created a bit more than previous games, but it wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough for me. And
No.
yeah, Arsenal bottling this league this year, especially with City, how they're playing, it's actually quite frustrating. So
I don't even know if it's them bottling the league, though. Like, I think it's
they level on points.
Genuinely, I think, I agree they haven't played well, but I genuinely think it's more that the last 2 years are more of an anomaly than this year has been. Like, I just think the last 2 years might have been the peak with their team. I don't know if it's going to get any better. I don't. Like, their players are going to get older and mature, but
yeah,
it's like they have a bunch of players. Pipes. I feel like they've got a lot of high class players with no green lines. That's what it looks like. It's like they went out, picked out high profile players, and it just looks like they all just hate each other on the field to me. No
I can't
chemistry.
even lie. What? I don't know about that one, Jacob.
What do you mean by there's no green lines?
Green lines.
You're talking about. Okay,
like,
I got you. I get what you're saying now.
Green lines, like you've got
Declan
lines
Rice in FIFA.
Yeah, the chemistry lines.
Did you write that down in your notebook before this podcast?
No, I didn't.
Dude, he came with good notes last episode, so I don't want to read too much.
Yeah, I love the pen and paper.
Yeah, I got notes today. That's why I mean, do you guys disagree that they don't play like a team? If they were playing like a team, they'd be playing better.
I don't know if they don't play like a team. I think they could be. I think they could be in a similar situation to like Chelsea is, where maybe they're missing like
Chelsea score goal. Chelsea scores
no,
goal.
But that's not. I know that, but I'm talking about maybe they're just missing a presence in the locker room that has done it. Like, if you look at all the teams that have won the Prem and have won the Champions League the last couple of years, they've all had guys that have done it. This is Arteta's first job as a manager.
We have Jorginho.
And you have a bunch of young players that haven't won anything for club or country, honestly. So, I mean, you have Raheem Sterling, if we're going to count him. Yeah, Jorginho, I guess Jorginho. But other than that,
that's it, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's maturity or, I mean, they can't finish the ball. That to me is, I mean, there's no creative. What are you doing in the final third? You can't put the ball in the back of the net with the guys you have, with Odegaard and with Saka and with Havertz. I mean, there's no green lines. There's no green lines in the front. There needs to be some more creativity. And if you don't have that, you can't score. That's why they rely on set pieces. I mean, it's just like all the Arsenal games to me are just boring as hell. It's structured in the back, structured in the middle. Try to have Saka or Odegaard create something, get a corner kick, score that way. That's the game plan. That doesn't work. They're losing their time.
Individual moments of brilliance.
Yeah, there's no team aspect to it.
I think it's tough to win the league if you have a striker that's incapable of scoring 20 goals in the league. And I don't think they have that.
Yeah, that's
even 15.
Yeah, 20
even
might even be a reach.
Goals.
Yeah.
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 Gotcha.
No, it's making sense. I think Arteta, for this to be, what is this, year 5 of the project? And it's like, Arsenal's identity before was like, why do we appreciate Arsenal? We appreciate the Tik Tok, and we appreciate the good footy. We appreciate all the good like moments and movements. This Arsenal right now is just they want to bully you. They want to just have set pieces, score like corner kicks, goals. Like, they just want to impose like dominance, and it's like this isn't Arsenal, bro. Like you need to have moments where you can like have a moment passage of play from like back line to midfield to attack. Like you don't just have to go wide. There's so much creativity in this team. These are all technical players. Like let's try to build on this. Let's try to create more moments, if that makes any sense.
The way that they've played the last 2 years is what makes it so much worse, I think. Because like they were literally there.
Yeah.
Like if they were just playing right now like they've played the last 2 years, their chances of winning the league would be very high. But again, it's like the transfer window. What did you decide to do? You bring in a center back like Pep does, and you're playing
who's
him
hurt
left
at
back.
the time.
Who can't stay fit. And then you bought a midfielder that also is similar to the midfielders you already have, and like Rice and Partey, not as good, but he just wants to run around and crack people. Like, you need creative player there probably. That's why I said, like, if you play Rice, Odegaard, and a 10, or even if you play Rice, Odegaard, Havertz, striker, it'd be more creative, but I don't know. I think they have the players to do it. They just are choosing to take the path of less resistance, which has been corners.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think before we like move on to the next game, Jordan Pickford was man of the match, so obviously he had to make some really good saves. Shout out to the outside backs, Ashley Young holding it down with Mikolenko. And then one person I probably won't get too much credit because Everton only had 30% possession. I think whenever Calvert-Lewin had the ball, like the hold up play and just like his work rate throughout the entire game, it was brilliant. And you just know when you're going to a place like the Emirates, you're not going to get possession too much. You're just going to have to work hard for the team when you're at the 9, and that's exactly what he did. So, yeah, shout out Calvert-Lewin, and Everton got it done. They got it done. They got what they needed.
Kenny loves a striker that works hard.
Hey, I mean, as a defender, shouldn't you as well? It makes your job easier.
You're seeming to forget that I'm actually a striker.
You can say that
Therefore,
until Darwin Nunez is in your team and misses 4 chances a game. Then you kind of just want a striker that scores goals.
I remember the Darwin Nunez chat a month ago when they're like, "Oh, you should be playing center mid." And I'm like, "Yeah, this ain't it right now. This ain't it."
Him and Vardy will get to challenge each other for who changes positions first.
God, don't even say his name to me. Don't say Vardy's name to me.
Oh, it's coming. Don't worry.
Don't speak his name.
Any final thoughts before we do get to the next game here?
No, I think Arsenal are still in it, but they got to find the patch here where they play good football.
They better still be in it, because if they're not in it, we got Chelsea sitting at 2 while their manager's just sitting at post game saying, "No, we're not going to win the title every game." Then you got Arsenal, so if they're not in it, then you got Nottingham, which, let's be honest here, may God strike me down if this comes back to bite me, but they're not going to win the league. I mean,
dude,
Nottingham Forest? No.
If we get Nottingham Forest playing Champions League football next season, it would be absolutely incredible.
Dude, that was in like the 90s and stuff.
I think they're only going to have to finish 5th. Because, like, I think the top 5 from England are going to make it this year. Because so far, all of them should be going through in the Champions League. City have to get it together in the Champions League, but there's a chance for that 5th spot.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. But yeah, let's move on to the next game.
Talking about Liverpool, 2-2 draw to Fulham at Anfield.
USA.
Yes, we got some things to talk about the USA in this game. Also, Fulham getting off to an early start, 1-0.
Fulham dinner.
Fulham dinner, baby.
Fulham.
Talk about syllables. Fulham, not Fulham.
Look at Jacob correcting you, Lando.
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah, I can see your brain churning in there.
The first 20 minutes of this game were an absolute shambles from Liverpool.
God, I hate Liverpool. I mean, sorry. Go ahead.
A lot of people do. It's okay. Yeah, the first 20 minutes were an absolute shambles, and then you can see the first goal. And then Andrew Robertson, look, I understand what you're trying to do. This ball was punted into the air about 35 yards in the air, and you're the last defender in the back line. There's no need to try to bring this ball down under control. You try to control this ball, and I think if he was more aware of what was going on, he wouldn't have fouled the guy, and he would have just let the guy run through on goal. Because I think if you're Liverpool, you'd have been better off going down 2-0 and having 11 men on the pitch than it being 1-0 and going down to 10. However, he doesn't do that. He fouls the guy. I saw some morons today saying, I don't know if it was a red card. It's as clear of a red card as you can get. I mean, it's terrible.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then you just survive till halftime. You get to halftime, and then you equalize. You make a 1-1. Now, Slot's a psychopath because at a point in this game, he was playing Ryan Gravenberch at center back, and he was playing a 3... What was he playing? A 3-3-3? Yeah, he was playing a 3-3-3. And he was going for it, which I say I love that. You know you need 3 points anytime you can get. We're going for 3 points. We're not taking anyone off. We're keeping the players we have on the pitch. And they actually dominated the second half, which is crazy. Should have won the game. The goal they conceded, shocking. Can't happen. Kwanzaa. Gotta get some confidence back. But, you know, I'd be more mad about the result if the other teams in the table got good results, but they didn't. I know Chelsea's catching up, but we'll see. Time will tell with Chelsea. But Andrew Robertson, we need Tsimikas back.
Wow.
Immediately. Because we just need that little break. Instead of playing 3 games a week, Robertson, we need him to play 2 games a week or 1 game a week. We just need him to settle down and relax. But other than that, the performance wasn't that bad. I mean, Anthony Robinson, I know we talked about Vardy being the best left back in the league. Not even close. Anthony Robinson is the best left back in the league. He deserves
Speak on it.
to play for a Big Six team. I don't know who it will be. He is getting a little older, so if he doesn't get a move to a Big Six team, that'll probably be why. But I think he has solidified himself as a top player for Fulham.
We'll see.
I think he's 27.
26. Let me take a gander.
Yeah, I think he's 26 or 27. That was well
He's
said.
27.
That
He's
was well
27.
said.
That was some great analysis.
Did anyone else get to watch any highlights, anything of the game?
I saw a second half.
Can I just say that I didn't watch a lot of this game, but I had the highlight. I had the notifications on, and every time Liverpool gets me excited that they're going to lose, they get a red card, they're down 1 goal, put my phone down, and I pick it back up, and they tied. And it's Mo Salah with the assist, and I'm just getting really, really annoyed every time because they're just too good. They're too good, and it pisses me off. For no reason. I don't have any gripe against Liverpool. It's just
okay.
sad.
It's okay. Maybe put the phone on silent so you don't have to see those notifications. But
Bro, can nobody just stop him? Can nobody just stop him, please? They have one less guy. They have one less guy in the field. Can nobody just break his ankle or something?
What was it that you said? Just mark him? Just stand in front of him? Yeah.
Bro, you're
The
down a man.
in the group chat from Betty this week was just have somebody stand
Just
in front of
mark
him. It can't be that hard.
Dude, I'm sorry, but
no, it's
somebody's got to stop them.
It's
but that's
fine.
what was crazy because they went down to 10 men and then it was like Fulham were pinned in their half and they just stopped playing. The first half, Fulham were pressing and coming after them, but then they play with 10 men and it's like Fulham were sitting back. I didn't understand why they were sitting back.
To be honest, I feel like at the end of the day, they're Fulham. If they get a point at Anfield, they don't care. And if they know that if Liverpool is going to go for the win, which you already explained, like Gravenberch playing like a hybrid, like center mid, center back thing. It turns into like a 2-4-3. Like Liverpool was going for it. And I feel like Fulham's perspective is like, yeah, it's fine. We can just defend. I'm happy to defend, but we're also going to counter. So I think that's why like Fulham was just okay with it. But Lando, I did want to bring you into this one. You said you saw the second half. Any critiques? Any thoughts from Liverpool or Fulham's perspective?
No, I mean, just like what Smitty said, like they just completely dominated. Honestly, it took me a while to realize that they were down 10 men. I had to go check the box score and saw that there was a red card in the 17th minute. I'm like, hold up, 1 second. And then the commentator was like, Fulham's just like hanging on here. They're running out of energy. I'm like, wait a second, don't they have a man up? Shouldn't this be the complete opposite way? But no, I mean, it's just scary how good they looked with 10 men. So it's just eye-opening because you don't see that from Arsenal. You don't see that from Chelsea or City right now. Like if they had 10 men, maybe City last year would have been kind of comparable where you wouldn't have even noticed the difference if there was one less guy on the pitch or not. But no, I mean, they were going, it was balls to the wall, like one end to the other. That's kind of what the exciting football that people want to see. I mean, Mo Salah should have had a couple goals. Missed the nearsighted.
He's terrible.
The nearsighted shot. I forget what minute it was in, but I feel like he would probably made that any other opportunity. Talk about Jota, Diego Jota.
Yeah,
Diego Jota. There we go. Third time's the charm. Is back on the pitch, right? Was this his first game back?
Absolute sniper.
Yeah, he's class.
He's an absolute sniper. I think
you gotta enjoy this month.
Yeah, dude, that's the only problem with him. If he can stay fit for the next 6 months, I'll be a lot more confident than playing Nunez or Diaz as the 9. Just because you know Jota's going to finish, and you're going to create chances. So you just need to have a bagsman up there.
I will say it's also impressive that when I saw Luis Diaz starting at the 9, I thought that was an abomination, and yet they're still just destroying everybody. So no one's talked about that. Jota's been out, and they're still just wrecking balls. Fucking
it's 2 draws in a row though, and they play Spurs on the weekend, so they gotta get a win. I know they play Southampton in the Cup on Wednesday, so they should be relaxed and ready to go against Spurs. They got to win. There's no excuse.
Is Spurs away?
Yeah, at Spurs.
Oh, I
depends
see.
What Spurs. Depends what Spurs you guys get.
I don't care what Spurs show up. You got to get 3 points.
James Madison Spurs. That's what we want.
As open as Spurs usually play, that game could be like 5-4. It will be the most entertaining game of the weekend. I can promise that.
I think it's important to call out what we've been saying this whole entire season. Just Slot's ability to have the coaching mindset to tactically change things when things aren't going his way. And even when you go down to 10 men, you're still seeing them dominate games. And it's just refreshing to see because there's some other bald managers in the league who cry when they have 10 men when someone makes a challenge at Crystal Palace. But other than that, I'm good to wrap this one up unless anyone has any other final Liverpool Fulham takes.
Shout out Ryan Gravenberch. I love you so much. Other than Moises Caicedo, you've been the best defensive midfielder in the world for the last 3 months.
Well said. All right.
Moving on. Newcastle 4-0 over Leicester City at home.
Yeah,
man.
Welcome to the league, Rude. This was his welcome to the league moment right here.
This is what I was saying. He's only had home games. And that's why he was winning or not losing. But when it's time to go away, like Smitty said, welcome to the league. This is how it goes.
It's Spurs.
That's a schmacking.
Or Newcastle, I mean, they had 20 shots. That's not good if you're a Leicester fan. But again, it's like we talked about Newcastle playing at home. When Newcastle plays at home, They're a really good side.
Yeah, but like, even just looking at the highlights, if you go through the NBC highlights, Leicester didn't have any shots. Like, it was simply just all Newcastle highlights. And I didn't watch the game, but the fact that Isak scored again, I think Gordon had a couple assists. Newcastle is on a bit of a like topsy-turvy type of season, but we'll see if they can get together.
Yeah, not sure if Benny wrote this down on his note sheet, but shots on target 11-1, 27-4 shots.
I did not have that written down.
5 corners to 2. That's really all you need to know. 7 fouls conceded to 16. I mean, stats tell you everything about that game.
Big math guy. Okay, big mathematician over here.
Big math guy. We don't need to do like a full deep dive on this game, so let's keep it pushing.
All right, moving on. Wolves losing at home 2-1 to Ipswich. We got a late thriller in the 94th minute.
Guys, you are missing out on prime time television. Like, what Wolves have done the past 2 weeks, even just throughout this whole season, it's hilarious. You have last week against West Ham. So the game, like they lose 2-1 or whatever, their captain just crashes out. Like, he is just fighting coaches. He's fighting like Jared Bowen. He's fighting his own teammates. Like, he is going insane. Like, Lamina, wow. I get it because Wolves just keeps losing. Like, I get it. I would crash out too. But that was last week. Fast forward to the Ipswich game where they probably should have won and they just didn't convert their chances. And after the game, you see things like Matthias Cunha taking the glasses off of some manager. And like, first of all, you can't do that. You simply can't do that. You have their left wing back, Aiton Nori, who's getting picked up and manhandled by Craig Dawson. And it's like, these are things that like you like, it's malice in the palace within their team. Like, it is beautiful to see. Like, as a neutral, it's absolutely amazing. And I hope you guys have a chance to watch Wolves this season.
It's real life reality TV show. I did not see this, however, so I'm gonna have to look back at the highlights. I read a little bit about it, but
you got to think though, like, they're in a relegation battle that no one would have predicted them to be in. So
they shouldn't be. It's
that's
criminal.
what I'm saying. It's like, I understand why the locker room would be in absolute shambles. The thing is, like, if I was personally, if I was in a relegation battle, I would just be out there like, please, good the rest of the season so we get relegated and at least I can go move to a club in the Prem still and keep some of my wages rather than making an ass hat out of myself fighting my teammates on camera.
See, that's what I don't think a lot of, like, we definitely don't talk about it in America because none of our sports do this, but like, dude, imagine these like NFL players getting these huge contracts, and then, you know, if there was relegation in American football, like, if you get relegated,
in America, you got teams
contract
tanking, you got teams losing on purpose,
dude. Like, no one talks about that. Like, yeah, I'd be scrapping tooth and nail too if I knew I was going to be, half my money was about to be cut in half. I just bought a $2 million house, and if we get relegated, I'm going to have to foreclose on that bitch. Like, yeah, I'm grabbing glasses too.
Yeah.
I'm throwing haymakers, and I'm unpleasant. I'm being unpleasant.
That's what I'm saying. And I guess to wrap it up with Wolves, their manager did get sacked the next day. So was it Gary O'Neill?
I hope Gary O'Neill gets another job in the Prem though. Last year he had them playing good football last year. Southampton's manager completely different scenario. Southampton's manager was trying to go the Vincent Kompany way, where he was just purposely losing games, playing out from the back, so he can just be like, oh, look at me, I play out from the back, and hope of big clubs just like, oh, he plays exciting football. If we have good players, it will work. That's what he did. He sabotaged their whole season, to be honest.
Well, I think that's a perfect segue. sorry to step on here or step on this, Lando, but Jacob, Tottenham, man, oh man, you had some of our TikTok comments going a little crazy. Any thoughts after you predicted it right?
Just a big dumb American, I guess. I don't know anything. I'm brain dead.
Yeah,
Screw that
I
guy.
mean,
James
Shout
Madison.
out to
James
that
Madison.
ass hat that said Madison and Kulishevsky can't play together.
James Madison is just so good. I can't believe it's taken him this long to. I mean, everyone has their bad games, but first minute, James Madison said, "Yeah, put me in the starting lineup." First minute, bang, assist, bang. That second goal, woo.
in the first 20 minutes, and as soon as I saw Kulisevsky not like assist or score, even though he did get one, but as soon as I saw Son taking like 6 shots, 7 shots, I'm like, if each one goes in, I'm cooked. Fantasy, I'm cooked.
Yeah, he got a nice little bonus. I saw it come in later. Coming for you, Nick. Coming for you, buddy.
I just can't imagine the audacity of this man that is a Spurs fan. He had the audacity to say, if we play Kulishevsky and James Madison together, that we will be way too open and concede too many goals. Hey, have you watched Spurs play football this season? They're the most open team that I have seen in the Premier League in the last 5 seasons. And you're worried that that you're going to concede too many chances and too many goals. Now, yes, you're going to be more open and you are going to concede more goals. But guess what you're also going to do? You might actually score some, dumbass. And guess what happened? They won 5-0 today. So this guy, whoever he is, let me find his at. Go ahead. You guys keep talking. I'm going to get his at.
No, that's fine.
Why did Son get subs out at half? I really don't like this Ange guy.
No, I think they were just saving legs because how old is Son? Like 31, 32?
He's got a big match against Liverpool.
Whatever.
Big match against
big
Liverpool.
one coming up. Like, I feel like Spurs' downfall might be the back line since no one's healthy.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bit of an issue. But quickly on Southampton, their manager. So this week, he mentioned their like one of their only good players, Tyler Dibbling. He goes, "Yeah, like I heard United was interested and want to do like a $21 million bid. You can't even get that for my left foot." Mr. Martin, Russell Martin, you can take your left foot and walk out of the club because just like you left early at halftime, you didn't even see that it was 5-0 at halftime. You only saw the 4 goals. Like, that's clown behavior, first of all. And secondly, you did get fired right after. So if we did do winners and losers of the week, that would have took mine very, very easily.
Why is the manager even talking about potential moves for a guy when you're going to get relegated? Like, you'd think that you'd have the common sense not to sell your best players in January if you're in a relegation battle. Like, maybe just wait till the summer, possibly.
He can't.
Well, no, he won't be there. He'll probably be managing Barcelona next season based on what happened with Vincent Kompany.
Oh, that's fair. If
you get relegated, you automatically get one of the top 5 jobs in the world. That's like the new standard in football.
Hey, I mean, it used to mean something being under Pep Guardiola's wing, but don't know anymore. But it's okay. Let's move on to the next one.
We can continue to hate on this one. Go ahead, Lando. Read off that score.
Last one on Saturday. We haven't touched upon this one. Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa. I know, Smitty, you're a fan of the Villa. If you want to start us off.
Game. Yeah.
It's the other man on TikTok that said,
Yeah, find that.
Very simply, he was a nicer guy. He just said bait in response to me saying Villa had no chance in hell of making the top 4. These are the type of performances you have that solidify why you have no chance in hell of making the top 4. Forest could have won this game 4-1. This is Nottingham Forest. I know they're in a good moment. They're having some good form, but you are Aston Villa. You cannot be conceding 2 goals past the 85th minute. And if you are conceding 2 goals past the 85th minute, you know what it shows? It shows a weak mentality from the players. And the goal that Emi Martinez conceded, the one that hit him right in the chest, I genuinely don't know how he didn't save it. He probably saves it like 95 out of 100 times. Shocking goal to concede. And then after it gets 1-1, the fact that you let Forest just ram the ball back down your throat for another 5 minutes and they find the winner is an absolute shambles. So, like I said, Villa, continue to just go all out in the Champions League. Enjoy your run in the Champions League because you will not be there next season.
Two moments here. 2 moments here, because that was well said. First one, Emi Martinez, I think he actually did pull off save of the season earlier in that game. I don't know if you guys saw, but that was...
I mean, no way he meant to do that, but it was pretty cool looking.
No chance.
No
chance.
I don't know.
Meant to do it.
I'm with you, Mike.
He dove.
I mean,
he dove.
Unless he's got eyes in the back of that melon of his, he did not mean to do that.
Nah, he definitely meant to do it. That was one of the craziest saves I've ever seen. But
well, yeah, he scooped that thing. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
He meant to do that one the same way he meant to throw the ball into his goal on Force's first goal.
Secondly, I did want to ask you guys, like, just the bigger question for Villa. What do you do with Ollie Watkins and John Duran?
You sell
If
Watkins.
you're Unai Emery, what do you do?
You sell Watkins to Arsenal.
Watkins to Arsenal?
You sell Watkins?
Yes.
Okay.
Why?
I just feel like you're going to have to pick one at some point, and I don't know, like, is Duran just in a purple patch where it's like he's in form for a certain amount of months and then he just dips? I don't know which one I would get rid of, but I feel like you need to have, like, a starting striker and then a clear backup. Currently, they're on the same level, and it would give me a headache if I was a manager.
Duran might be in a purple patch, but it seems like Watkins was in a purple patch for all of last season based on the atrocity that he's putting forth this year.
I don't feel like he's playing that bad. Every time I check Lando's fantasy score, he's got him at least 6-7 points.
You get 3 points for showing up to the game and putting your boots on.
You get 2 points.
2 points.
2 points to play over 65 minutes, I believe.
60 minutes in the Prem? Oh, my hamstrings just fall off.
Yeah,
like, you know,
they're
like
the
video of like when the steak falls off the bone or whatever that meme is. That's exactly what happens to my hamstrings.
Did the hamstring or the groin go first, Kenny?
Oh, sports hernia groin, 1000%. Yeah. Quick one, just I make one play and then I sit down like, yeah, it's wraps. It's wraps.
Does your
I've gotten quite used to hockey subs in my Monday Night League. I can't even make it 20 minutes on a 70-yard pitch with a bunch of washed up guys.
Here's a serious question,
That's
Kenny.
tough.
Here's a serious
What'd
question.
you say?
Does your hamstrings come off first, or does it not get a red card first?
Ooh.
I've not gotten a red card at one time at Duquesne. I didn't get a single red.
False.
I don't know what. It's not false. Use some
Are we counting
narrative.
that?
You guys would sell Watkins, confirming that's what you guys want to do.
I would. Yeah, I think Duran has
I know
higher
what I do.
upside.
Okay.
He'd be cheaper. You'd probably get more money from Watkins.
Personally, I feel like Duran wants to leave because he almost went to Chelsea over the summer. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, but like we gotta consider. Do we think he wanted to leave because he wasn't playing though? And then going to Chelsea is not a good idea if you want to leave somewhere because you're not playing.
True.
No, that's fair.
Go where you play.
All right, let's move on from Villa.
Moving on to the Sunday games. Crystal Palace 3-1 over Brighton.
Let's pass this one over to Jacob first. I feel like he was having some things said in the group chat.
A betting man very often, but sometimes
we've seen your lock of the week.
Sometimes I wake up on Sunday morning and I have a little excitement flowing in the air, and I'm like, I'm going to place a bet. And I bet a 3-leg parlay. Okay. The other 2 legs hit. I believe it was, can't even remember. Anyway, it was Tottenham money line, and it was who else won? Oh, that's yesterday. And Chelsea. Okay, all I needed was Brighton to win, and they got shellacked. I mean, Crystal Palace. I mean, they didn't look good at all
today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me ask you: is Crystal Palace getting better, or is Brighton just getting worse?
Brighton's in
I feel
a
like
bad
Brighton's getting
patch here.
worse.
I
Yeah,
don't know if
they're
they're
in a real
getting
bad
worse.
patch.
I just think they're having a bad run of form.
I wouldn't say that Brighton's getting worse. I feel like it's just what we expect from a Brighton team throughout the year, or like any Premier League season. Quickly just crediting Crystal Palace. They did defend for a while and a lot of patches, and they had a game plan of just counterattacking and being clinical, and that's what they did. But Brighton, I did see a stat today that it's last 180 games, 60 wins, 60 losses, 60 draws. So they've been perfectly mid. They've been perfectly mid. So
I wish I saw that stat.
Yeah, you're the stats guy, so I thought this was.
Write that down in your
on
notebook for
radar.
next week.
I'm not the stats guy. I'm the stats guy when I have nothing else to say, and I just got to look some shit up.
Fair enough, but I really don't think like Brian should worry about anything. It's just this is what they do. Like, this is just who they are. And I don't know if anyone else saw the game or have any thoughts, but yeah.
As a club, they finish between 7th and 12th every year. Like, that's where they should be.
And it's results like this where that puts them in that category. So, yeah.
Doesn't help that they sell their best players every summer.
Where's my guy Welbeck at?
Oh, he's been benched, man. He ain't getting no minutes. I've been getting more minutes than Danny Welbeck.
Yeah, he didn't even make the team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This guy, he's like Garnacho and Rashford. He's probably leaking the lineup. They had to cut him from the squad.
Dude, there's some cheese because he was. I mean, hey, they're running bad patch of form here, and all I know is when Welbeck was in, they were scoring. Well, at the beginning of the season.
But this is Brighton. Like they'll finish between 12th, and in the summer they'll probably sell João Pedro, and they'll probably sell another player that makes their team go, and they'll just rebuild again, and they'll be 7th to 12th again. Like it's what they do. Can they make the next step? That's the question that I don't know. It's probably going to depend on how much money they want to spend.
They almost did when like McAllister was still on Brighton and stuff. I remember they had like a big game against United and stuff, but they have the potential to. It's just, do they just want to be the feeder club where they give all their best players, or do they actually want to make a push? And I feel like they'll have to decide soon.
Kind of sucks for them though, because it's like they're kind of always going to be a feeder club no matter what, honestly. Like,
yeah, I mean, Champions League money is a little different, though.
Yeah, I get that, but it's still like, if you're at Brighton, you're still dreaming of going somewhere else. Like, no one's like, my end goal is to play for Brighton.
You don't wake up and have a big-ass Brighton sign above your bed and be like, I get older.
We'll move on to, we'll save the, which game for last, but Chelsea 2-1 over Brentford at Stamford Bridge. Cucurella and Nicholas Jackson.
Anyone else watch this? Any highlights?
Your Nico Jackson shout at the team of the season.
Hey, man, we can have some conversations.
Listen, I don't want to
some conversations.
I don't want to put you on your soapbox here because
you might have to though. You might have to.
It's of all the shouts we gave, that one's starting to shape out to be the best looking one, or the best looking one that didn't get added.
I'm telling you, like, throughout the game, he was dangerous, and he probably should have had 2 or 3. Like, there was one moment where he wasn't in 1v1 and, like, he slipped. There was another one, Sancho, like, ran down the line, crossed it, but he, like, hit it over. But just how dangerous. Yeah, that was a sitter. But how dangerous he constantly is, and just the hold-up play and the work rate, and we already talked about it. I love a hard-working striker. And the fact that he's able to just do all of this and have, whether it's making runs for like Cole Palmer or like Madueke trying to find him, or Sancho looking for him. Nico Jackson, right now, you're seeing so much confidence in him. Whether it's he's taking a half like left-footed volley, like that's getting saved, but it's on target. You're just seeing so many different types of finishes he's trying, and it's beautiful to see. Like, he deserved that goal based on how he played today. And Nico Jackson, man, what a player! What a player!
What a
Friend of the
guy. I
program.
love.
Friend
Friend
of the program.
Love
But
my guy Cucurella. I tell you what a
speak
header by
about
that
it.
guy. But you know, I love him, and I love him for one reason, because he's a man of two halves. He's gonna go and score a goal, and then he's gonna get a red card when the game's already over for yapping that mouth of his. Man's got a mouth on him apparently for what did the ref say, for a bad attitude or something. I'd be like, bro, I'd be like Muck after that Sunday league game. I'd be like, we're all adults here. The game's over, and you red card me? God, I hate refs. Have a god complex. Like, Jesus, man, just leave. Like, what could he have possibly said after the game that was like, yep, yellow card now? How about you
feel
just
like there's a
walk back to the
couple things you
locker
could
room?
have said.
Dude, like, unless he's saying some crazy, like, what could have been so bad? They won the game. Like, also, Cucurella, what are you saying? But again, like, it couldn't have been that bad.
He should have
I
just
don't
said it
know.
in
That's-
Spanish.
Yeah, then it wouldn't have stung as much, you know? Like, if you
Yeah,
really
but
just
like it
wanted
would
to.
have felt good for him though, and he wouldn't have got a red card. You know
Yeah, but maybe he did say it in Spanish, and the ref was
what? The
like, I
reason
know what
I
that
wouldn't
means. I don't know. I mean,
hit him with the puta madre.
you know, he just gives like a little side eye, be like, I know what that means.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know.
I feel like just in regards to the game though, it was like a fascinating watch because Brentford is a tough side. Like, as we know, they do love a goal or two, and Chelsea is in form, but Brentford's also buzzing this season. And I think it took
1
a
point
while.
away.
It took a while for Cole Palmer to really get like acclimated into the game. But once he did, then you're just seeing that like his class is just always going to be there. Even without a goal and assist, he was involved in everything. And I don't know if anyone else like saw the highlights, but it's Chelsea's looking good.
Yeah,
Chelsea's
I
looking
will say
good.
I'm loving Madueke on the right and Sancho on the left. They're just
Mhm.
cooking down those flanks.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they
The
were just constantly
the
just going after it.
the scary thing is that you still have like Neto and Felix who didn't even like get into the 18
Yeah,
because I think one was suspended, one was injured.
yeah.
So
And
there's
Neto's solid, dude. He's so quick. I love him.
there's a lot of threat.
I don't think I'm surprised that Chelsea's good. I don't think any of us are surprised they're good. I think we're just surprised how quick it happened. Like
I
if
think
you
I'm
look
a
at
little
if you look at
surprised on how they're doing.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if you look at how much money they spent and the players that they bought, everyone knew they were going to be good. Just no one expected it to be this fast,
Muck, any
which
thoughts
is
here?
massively impressive.
That's kind of my thoughts too. I didn't think they were gonna be this good. I mean, the past 2-3 years they've been pretty much mid-table, and their team's not that different from last year. Like, they brought in some guys, but it's like Nico Jackson. He was a meme player last year, and now he's probably a top 5 striker right now for sure, top 3. You can make the argument, but yeah, they're fun. They're a fun team to watch for sure.
They
Yeah.
are. And that's what Arsenal's missing is I feel like when Cole Palmer goes a little silent in the beginning of the game, you know, if you're comparing him to Odegaard, if you're comparing those two, and then you're comparing like Martinelli and Saka to Madueke and Sancho, like Madueke and Sancho to me are just making way more strides towards picking up the attacking portion of that game. Like if Odegaard's not doing much, then you know, I mean, they're just busting down those flanks. And Saka still is, I guess, but
He is. Nah, he is.
You know.
Nah,
But again, but Weke says, like, Osaka, to me, it's, again, there's no connection to them. They don't have a Nico Jackson, so
there's no green lines, right?
There's no green lines.
Chelsea just play with an I don't give a shit mentality because they're not supposed to be this good, so they don't care. It's like they have nothing to lose. The only thing
they play very free.
Like if they fall off eventually, the reason they fall off is going to be because of their center backs and their goalkeepers. Other than that, like, they're primed to go here for the next 5 years, and there's nothing that anyone's going to do about it because they're just going to also spend a shit ton of money until they get a center back and a goalkeeper that push them over the line.
Yeah,
like, they're going to be there no matter what.
Maybe that's what Arsenal needs. Arteta needs to maybe just skip a haircut every once in a while, roll up a doobie, and just say, let's just go out there and play, guys.
The new best build for a manager is young and bold.
I get Arteta gives me vibes of
it's trendy.
He I don't know. He what's, I'm not going to say this, but never mind.
Well,
moving on.
Just to stick with Chelsea, I feel like as much as I hate on Robert Sanchez, I think he did play well today. So do want to call that out. And I think this would have been a game that they would have lost last year because Brentford did equalize late. And I think a young and naive Chelsea that isn't managed properly, or not equalized. They got one. They pulled one closer. But a young and naive Chelsea last year probably would have gave up points this game. But just seeing how they performed throughout, they probably should have had 3 or 4 before Brentford scored. It's good to see. I guess we can end it with the final meme question. Is Chelsea in a title race?
Yes.
I don't see why not.
Because no one else is.
No one else wants to win the league other than them and Liverpool, so yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just by process of elimination, they are.
But even if the other teams were playing good, I think they'd still be in a title race.
I think it's just all going to depend on when their dip is and how big it is. Like, when is their dip and how big and how long is it going to last?
Like, them and Liverpool are kind of in the same situation where it's like
100%.
No one expected either one of them to be this good yet. So
they're both looking at each other like, why are we here?
Yeah, Spider-Man meme without a third one. Just 2 of them.
All right. Well, Chelsea fans, let us know how you're feeling if you are considering yourself in the title race. But let's keep it pushing.
Last but not least, since we already touched about Spurs, Southampton, we don't need to go revisit that. But Man City, Man United, 2-1 United. How are we feeling about this?
Before the game even started, there were 2 people missing from Man United squad. Now, opening it up to the floor, what do we think happened to Garnacho and Rashford?
One of them kept leaking the lineup before the game, which some would say isn't a big deal, but my response to that would be there's a reason why they only release the lineup an hour before kickoff. So if you're releasing the lineup 5 hours before kickoff, that could be sort of an issue. So one of them was doing that. And I think genuinely the other one, they just didn't want to scapegoat one of them. So they just threw the opposite in there and was like, we'll just say they were both disciplinary issues. And then no one will find out which one it actually was. I love it. I think it's great for the manager. You're a new manager. You need to get control of the dressing room. This is a consistent theme with United where the players do absolute bullshit, either on the pitch, off the pitch. It's been an issue. And they need an authoritarian in there that says, we're done with this shit. I'm in charge. We're not having it. And that's what he did. And the result on the pitch today makes that decision look even better for Amorim.
Rashford does not strike me as the type of guy that would be like causing issues in the locker room. Or rude.
You bring up a very valid point. I just know from personal experience, I saw Rashford post on his IG story today the victory with the lads, him watching from his TV. I can speak from personal experience that if you had me on Be Real in 2022 when the Duquesne Dukes played against LaSalle, I know exactly what type of time Marcus Rashford was dealing with. So I think that was a cheeky little suspension. But other than that, I think we can move into the game. First bit of business. Does anyone want to speak about Mason Mount?
It's a real travesty what his career has come to at this point. You think of all the bad signings that United have made. This one, I looked this up today. He cost them $55 million, and he was on his last year of his contract at Chelsea. And I don't think he has played more than maybe like 8 games since then. So yes, it was a really bad signing by United, but I guess they couldn't have predicted that he was going to be in this position where he's never available to play. So it's kind of sad the way his career's gone. And it seems like
He was so good.
Him and Luke Shaw might be like in the same boat now, where who knows if they're ever going to have a consistent run of games where they're available.
It's just so sad to see a guy that was so good just drop to just no intoxicant, just nothing. I mean,
I think it's more of like he's 25, 26, and he keeps getting injured like this. Like he can't get a run of form. Like it's tough. It's really tough. My brother was texting me because he's a United fan, and he just keeps saying he should have never got that number 7 at Man United. Like there's way too much history.
That's true.
Way too much history on the badge, on the number. Where
when he was coming into United, he definitely was fine getting the number 7 with where he was at.
Do you know who wears that number 7 or who wore that number 7? These are absolute legends who have worn that number 7, and he thinks
like
to be fair, they might have believed when they bought him that he was going to be another United Legends. Like he was coming in a Champions League winner, and he was coming in a regular player for his country. Like I think we're kind of discrediting and forgetting how good he actually was when he was in his prime. Now, I mean, wearing the number 7 at United is a different story. But when they bought him, he was supposed to be a massive part of what they were doing for the next couple years.
I agree with Nick. I mean, what? Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo wore the number 7 for Man United. So what? Is it just nobody's going to be able to wear it now? I mean,
they should hang it up and retire it if they don't want anyone to wear it.
Yeah, I agree.
Just tiny little moment, but
like you know how that club's ran. There's no way they even thought about that. They were just like, "Oh, you want to wear 7? Awesome, wear 7."
Yeah,
the Glazers probably loved it. The Glazers were probably like, "Dude, you wear number 7, we're gonna sell so many number 7 jerseys. Who cares if they have Mount on the back? We're gonna sell 7 jerseys, whatever."
Yeah,
get them back in stock.
I get it. I think with this game, do you want to ask you guys? It seemed like it was a bit of a cagey affair in the first half. Teams that don't really want to risk take and try things. Do you think that's more to blame on City, or is this for United's doing? Like, who do you think was to blame for this first half?
At some point in the first half, I did look at City and I said they're being a little more pragmatic here, and they're not pressing extremely high. They're kind of just sitting off them and saying, "Okay, you can have the ball." Which I thought was a good decision because they've been getting carved for the last month playing the same way. But then again, City didn't create anything offensively again, which I just don't understand how this continues to happen. You're not missing any of your creative players. I understand if you're conceding goals. You're missing the best defensive midfielder in the past since Busquets, let's say that. So the last 10 years, maybe. But the idea that you can have all this talent on the pitch and the goal you score is a deflection that your left back heads in is just shocking to me. Every week it's shocking to me. I'm tired of saying it. It's shocking every week. It's just worse and worse and worse. It's not getting any better. They're in a really bad place right now.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with De Bruyne either. Like, he's just out there. You've got him. You still have Haaland. He still has Haaland to pass to. You know, nothing's changed with that. So,
Why I think he's literally like, I don't think he's a defender anymore. He doesn't defend at all. He's a better attacking player than he is a
Dude,
defender.
no, he doesn't defend at all.
We clearly saw he doesn't defend at all today.
Dude, get your feet
But I
set, my
don't
guy.
get it. I don't understand it. He's literally like 100 million pound center back. How can he defend?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. The interesting thing that I saw from this game was that City's corners, why were they playing it short? United is one of the worst teams in the league at defending set pieces. So
Yes,
I
believe the stat is 48% of their goals have come from corner kicks, other conceded goals.
Yeah, so really just confused why you thought you should do a short corner when you probably just need to just put it in there and see what happens.
Well, that's what happened on their goal is they just put it in got deflected. That's just so against Pep's nature. Like, Pep doesn't believe in, Pep believes in a system of passing and moving and getting good quality goals. Like, the majority of teams, a lot of the teams just believe you have to have it in the box. Get it in the box. And that's what, and I think that's what you're seeing with Pep is he doesn't have the players to be in that perfect system. And he's not refusing, but he does not like the fact that a deflected goal from a corner kick and a Vardiol header is how they got their goal. And that's it. Like, that's just what they needed to be doing. Put the ball in the box.
They're still trying to play pretty football. I'd argue that they actually have the players right now that they could just play direct as shit. You have a striker. You have an unbelievably athletic striker. You have
a horse.
Doku's fast as shit. Savinho is fast as shit. Just hammer the ball long. And just have De Bruyne and Foden sitting behind Haaland. And if he doesn't win it, they're right there. And they're picking it up and they're going. The idea that they keep trying to play the same way that they've been playing, it's just not working. And I don't understand why he refuses to change it. Mateus Nunes is still playing. I don't know why. Can we talk about the back pass and then the penalty conceded within a 5 second span?
Right before, I feel like there was another moment in that first half between Rasmus Højlund and Kyle Walker.
Oh my God, Kyle Walker.
Do you want to speak about that?
Dude, he's done.
The commentator made the best point of all time. He's just like, dude, there's cameras now. Like, does he really think he's going to get away with that? Like, it's so true. Like, all this stuff, like, you can't get away with this dude coming up to you and just like sniffing you and you just fall down like a little asshole. Like, this is why no one, like, everyone in America is like, fast fairies, because people like you, Kyle Walker.
But like, this is why people hate Man City, or this is why a lot of people hate Man City. It's not even that. It's not even that they. It's not even that they like consistently win that makes people hate them. It's just the petulance that they have when they lose. Like the head loss that they're having. I mean, I understand Kyle Walker. Some of the shit that people were saying about him online is crazy, and you shouldn't be doing it. But like the idea that you keep coming out making statements and you keep posting all this shit, it's like, dude, I don't want to be Roy Keane, but it's like, just worry about the football right now. Like I said last week, you're lucky you're not on the trolley to Sheffield. Just worry about getting better. You're wearing the armband. You got to take some responsibility for the performances. You can't just keep saying Pep's messing up and, you know, he can't decide which goalkeeper he wants to play, and the best striker in the world has gone ghost for the last month and a half. Like, someone has to take responsibility. And it can't just be Pep every day in a press conference scratching his face up saying, I suck, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not good enough. It's like, I want Pep to come out and say, I'm one of the best managers in the world. I'm one of the best managers in the history of football. My players have been playing like shit. I want him to say it. I'd respect him more because it's like at some point, I agree, some of his decisions haven't been good, but the performances from the players have been atrocious.
I think the better way to say it is, like Kyle Walker said on his Instagram story, unacceptable. The performances have been unacceptable. But before we wrap this up, there are a couple more moments here. Let's talk about Matias Nunez. Smitty, I'll give that one to you.
Yeah, there's this old school philosophy in football that when you're winning 1-0 past the 80th minute, you don't pass the ball backwards. I know it's like classic Barclays, we're just going to hoof it long. So first things first, in that position, there's no reason to play backwards. No reason. Okay? Second, you underhit the pass. I understand you underhit the pass. Including with you underhitting that pass, I don't know where Ederson is going. Like, if Ederson just stays on his line, Diaz is going to close that down, and you're going to make him finish that. And
you're blaming Ederson for that?
No, I'm not blaming Ederson, but I'm just saying if Ederson stays on his line, Diaz is closing it down, and you're making him finish that. And it's going to take a hell of a finish to score. But then it gets worse because I don't know what Nunez was thinking. He didn't even put in a tackle. He just ran through him. Like, there was no... Like, if it was outside the box, I'd be like, this is incredible. That's great stuff. But it's inside the box in the 86th minute. Just let him go. You have him. You have him dead if you just stand them up right there. Diallo was completely content with just having the ball at his feet. He wasn't going to score if you just stood him up. But you decided I'm going to clatter him.
I think the cooler thing from that was I saw a tweet where it had the angle of Pep and John Stone's reaction when Nunez made that challenge. And you literally just see two hands on the head, just absolute like chaos. And yeah, I mean, we've been saying it. Nunez doesn't belong anywhere on a back line. And this is what happens when he's on one.
On the pitch at all. Nowhere. Please don't. Just stop playing him.
So yeah, after that, Bruno converts the pen and has a cheeky little celebration. But what was it? 115 seconds later? Crazy how that works. It's 2-1. Dude, does anyone want to talk through the goal?
Ahmad Saucy.
How did Guardiola clear it off the line? Like, I know he didn't want to smack it because he was worried that he was going to hammer it into his own goal. But he tried to backheel the ball off his line. Yeah, I know.
Saw this?
It was kind of I understand it's a tough situation. He's running full speed into his own goal.
Yeah. All you have to do is just touch it.
Yeah, I expect someone of his quality to be able to do something with that ball.
Yeah.
I mean, he just don't hole in the goal.
I watched this goal a couple times, and when you notice it, Martinez has the ball over the top. But from a higher point of the view, you have Guardiola, who's ahead of Ruben Diaz, and the back line is literally like built like a V. So that's why Guardiola didn't even see the run at first, and that's why Diallo was able to just check in and then check out. So then once he gets the ball, and he has the brilliant first touch to get around Ederson, when Guardiola tries to clear it, he doesn't swing over his left foot to clear it. He tries to do a backheel flick on the goal line. This is like insane behavior as a defender. Like, I get it. It's tough to clear because you're running like towards your goal, but you can't do a backheel flick. You can't do a backheel flick in the 89th minute. It's just not good enough.
Dude, and it's another situation, like, as a goalkeeper, I'll say the same thing. It's like Ederson didn't need to come again. Like, make him volley that ball into the goal. Like, there's no need. And it was, Diallo did incredible. He dealt with it incredibly. But it's like, these are reasons why Ortega's been playing. They're not big mistakes, but they're just little things that are avoidable. And I think if Ederson's been in the team, his vision and his perception and all that would be cued in more. I don't think he makes those two decisions. I think he just holds on his line.
Yeah, no, I agree. Before we finished talking about City and just this game, do we want to switch over to the United side? Because to be fair, I don't know what anyone expected from them today, but they held their own.
Yeah.
They played well.
Yeah. I mean, all you can really say for Manchester City is that they got a deflected goal that was not drawn up, and that's it. And then Man United, dude, Ahmad is dangerous on that flank.
Keep going.
I mean,
keep going.
Dude, he's so good. I mean, if he, I think he keeps playing like this, he's in the conversation with like Saka, and those guys.
Okay.
He's
okay. Crazy.
I think he's in like a similar situation that Garnacho was maybe like a year ago, where he's primed to become like the next face of United. But I think he has high potential to actually do it, because it seems like his head's screwed on right, and it seems like there's going to be some stability at the club now, and they're not going to bash through managers. I want to give a shout out to Harry Maguire.
The whole back line, to be honest.
Like, this guy, like we talked about Nicholas Jackson, this guy's been a meme. And I would say, I would even go back to last season. He's been a pretty consistent player for them that you can almost trust, and you don't worry about him anymore. And if he never went to United for the cost that it was, I think they'd probably be pretty happy with how he's performed. He's had a lot of rough moments during his career, but right now he's like a seasoned presence, and he's a guy that they know has been there at United. I still don't like that they're subbing center backs.
Yeah.
What are you saying,
I
Jacob?
think he's gotten too much hate through his, like, I think it kind of just became a let's hate on Harry Maguire thing. And, you know, it's hard to, like, when Manchester United is where they've been the last couple of years, and you're brought in with all that pressure, like, you can only do so much as a center back when your team is that atrocious. Like, if you're just getting hammered the entire game and your team can't produce anything on the other end of the field, like, it's just, what are you supposed to do?
Well,
you know? Yeah, he's had some bad moments, but I think he deserves, like, today you can see him playing in the center of that back three. I mean, he still is good.
Yeah, no, I think
he's,
having Maguire with like extra help, like a Martinez and De Ligt next to him, like that extra coverage, that's where you're going to see the best of Maguire, because it's kind of like that, not like sweeper role, but just that role where like he's just covering in behind and he doesn't have to do much. They're not asking him to like play all these entry balls. Just defend, clear your lines, and move on.
It's the same as when he was with England and they were playing the five at the back. Like, he was always good for England because he had Stones and Shaw next to him, and both of them could run, and he didn't have to cover any distance. And like, that's where he can be effective, where he doesn't have to cover a bunch of ground. He can just stay within the width of the 18-yard box and just focus on defending.
Yeah, and he's just a big bully there. Like, let the two guys on the right and left run and cover. He can just be a bully in the middle, and then with his feet, he's very, very calm and collected with his feet. I mean, he's not going to be playing a lot of entry balls and things of that nature, but moving the ball, good first touch, just, draw a couple guys in and then pass it out, good to go.
Do you think Højlund's the solution at striker and Rashford's kind of going to get pushed out here?
I don't know.
I feel like the system that Amarim wants to play isn't going to suit Rashford because he's not a 9. So I think Garnacho has a better chance of performing in this system, but I think Rashford might be on the way out, to be honest.
I mean, like today, Diallo played as one of those two sitting behind the striker, and he kept pulling himself wide. I don't know if they want two players pulling themselves wide in that position.
I think with Diallo, he's like, he has the football IQ where he knows when he can go wide and when he should like stay central and like help out. Marcus Rashford, you only see him like he just wants to stay on the left and go at guys one-on-one. Like, I don't think
And
there's
then
any
slap
other.
a ball.
I don't exactly. I don't think there's any other situation where he can really perform or like use his football IQ to do better. So yeah.
I just can't believe City's been this bad, dude. It's It's so shocking.
Hey, I love it.
It's 1 win in 11.
I love it. Pep Guardiola is getting treated like Lily Phillips.
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
if we're going to be honest, if we're
That's
1
insane.
and 11,
That is
1
crazy.
and 11, everyone's getting their lick right now.
Yeah, she was going
Everyone's
11 for
doing
11.
Control yourself, Kenny.
Yeah, but I guess sticking with City United. I was gonna say in the first half that like Manchester isn't red or blue. Manchester's just ass. But
It probably still is. Like, it
yeah,
probably
but
still is.
Rasmus's poem, like, what was it? The Manchester's red, violets are blue. Brilliant performance. The Oscar goes to, like,
You.
that was good. Yeah, that was
that's
good.
pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's
You want
a lot of
that, though.
trolling.
Like, that's good.
Mhm.
That's good stuff. And if anyone's gonna hate on Kyle Walker, it honestly should be Kyle Walker's own teammates posting poems about him, how bad he's been. I would love to if Foden like reposted it. I mean,
Everyone just
we're not going to allow Phil Foden to get out of this episode without any slander either. I mean, this guy, you cannot go from winning player of the season last year to being what he has been this season. He's not looking threatening. He's not
No one
contributing
on City is
goals or
looking threatening.
assists. Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess Holland hasn't scored in like 3 weeks or something, which is crazy. Like I said, though, just play more
I
direct.
can't
Just
believe
start
he's
hammering
still
it
the
behind the
joint
back
leader.
lines.
Yeah,
Which is crazy
Well-
because there's guys in the league that are scoring a shit ton. Like, Salah's still scoring every single week. Palmer is scoring a ton. That just shows how good Holland was for the first 2 months in a City team that
they could
wasn't
still
good either.
be so good if they like. This is like, yeah. I don't know who was talking about it, comparing him to Sean Dyche, but if you put Sean Dyche as the manager of this current team, he'd be wetting his pants right now. He'd be wetting his pants. He'd be like, I'm gonna pump this ball up to the big Norwegian horse up top, and then I'm gonna get the ball out wide to Doku, and I'm just gonna have him run down the line and cross this ball in the box.
Dude, but that's why Holland was so
Because-
good at Dortmund. Like,
Yeah.
him and Jude were just transition monsters. And they were just playing transition and kill everyone in the Bundesliga.
Dude, if
you
you
can't
get
make me believe that he can't do that in the Prem. Like, Holland
if you
can
get-
still kill defenders the same way.
Bro, if you get him running at full speed, that is a brick shit house running down at you. And no center back wants any part of that. That's like the Derrick Henry of the English Premier League running at you. I mean, he will just stiff arm your ass and put you in the dirt and then go score on you.
Well, the thing is, it's just Pep changed the way that Holland plays. Like, he doesn't want Holland to do all that running. He only wants him around the goal and finishing chances. So,
Well, that's fine, but it's still in him.
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, I think about that with other players on that team, like Jack Grealish. Like, before City, we saw how good Jack Grealish was. And it's just the way that Pep wants him, like, within his system, it's changed. So,
What Pep did to Jack Grealish is an absolute travesty.
uh-huh.
I mean, this guy...
44 matches, 0 goal contributions.
Yeah, for...
I think it's
$100
one
million.
goal, 562 days.
Dude, he's like Mason Mount. Like, his career is going to end up... No one's going to remember how good he was at Villa. Just no one's going to care. Like, this
Think
guy...
he much cares
This guy
himself.
was incredible. No, I still think there's got to be, like, that competitive part of you that cares.
1,000%.
Like, even though he's probably making 4 times the amount of money and having 4 times less responsibility, I still think he's like, wow, my career is probably fallen off.
Yeah.
Like, you
He's
can't
just
tell
looking
me
at
he
his old
wouldn't.
YouTube highlight.
Yeah, dude. Like, you can't tell me he wouldn't absolutely love to, like, get back into the England squad and just light it up.
I mean, now
Yeah.
would be the time to do it. That's what I mean. Like, right now they're in this crazy time of what's going on. And that's just still the other thing. If Pep's, every post-match interview being like, I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'm like, throw Grealish on the field. Like, you haven't even put him back on. You know what I mean?
Let him free.
It's like you're not even really trying anything different, So I don't know why he's saying all this, like, I need to figure it out and I'm not good enough. And I'm like, well, you haven't really done anything different. You still have the three most unathletic guys running around in the midfield. I mean, you're just now starting Doku on the left side. I mean,
Gundogan, Silva, and Mateus Nunes all on the pitch with De Bruyne in front of them, who also can't run. Like, they'd be so much better if they just like rolled the ball out and said, Foden, Grealish, Doku, Haaland, just play free without any structure.
Dude,
like
I'm not even
those guys would thrive so much.
I'm not even putting Phil Foden in the team. I'm putting Grealish on the left, and I'm probably just putting Doku behind Haaland and saying, we're going to pump it up to Haaland. Haaland's going to hold it up and drop it down to either Jack Grealish or Doku and just run at these guys. Just run at them. Get your quickest, best dribblers on the field. Pump it to Haaland. Bring it down. Turn. Go.
Put Vardy all up there with him. I don't remember the last time Doku scored a goal there either. So, but City has just lost all the aura that they had. Like, no one's scared of playing them, and like I think that's probably a big part of it.
Team
like
I've ever seen in my life.
You look at like certain guys' careers. It's like in other sports. Like if you happen to be one of the guys that Conor McGregor was fighting when he was in his prime, you lost the fight before you even put the gloves on. Like, you weren't going to win. And that's what City's like now. They lost their aura. No one's scared of playing them anymore. No one believes before the game, like, we're going to get our ass kicked. Like, before, if Fulham was playing at the Etihad, Fulham would go like, so let's just not hold 5 today. Now they're just like, well, we're probably going to beat them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's perfectly well said. And I think any City fans that exist out there, let us know what you think about Pep's tenure right now through these past couple months. But again, special shout out to Amarim getting his second win against Pep in 1 month, 2 months, getting that done. But yeah, go on United, getting some points at the Etihad. It's been a while. But yeah, any final thoughts before we wrap up with Muck's fact of the week?
All right. My fact of the week here. This is every fan's dream, I think. It's the summer 1994 West Ham. They're playing a pre-match friendly against Oxford City. At halftime, there's a fan that's just nonstop, just battering the manager. Ian Redknapp, I believe. Harry Redknapp was the manager. The manager, so West Ham, they didn't bring a lot of their players, and they had a guy come down with an injury like a minute into the second half. So he turns to the fan and says, "Do you think you can do a better job?" He gets him kitted up, and he goes out, and he goes on the pitch for him, and he scores a goal.
You're lying.
No way.
Scores a goal.
You're lying.
And Redknapp is on record of saying that he was better than their starting striker on that day.
No way.
That's just insane. That was that guy's only...
That is every person's dream. You're sitting there at the FC Cincinnati game, and you're like, what if, like Birding just came over and was like, get your cleats on, we're down to center back.
That's the definition of standing
that.
on business.
I genuinely can't believe that.
Do you think he was just so wound up on pints with the boys that he just didn't feel anything? He was just like, I'm going to go out there and run. I can't feel nothing. I'm going to put one of these balls in the back of the net. That's me on that's how I felt during our alumni game. I just couldn't feel any pain.
Well, if you spend 14 hours at the bar like Muck did, you probably wouldn't feel any pain either. But
if you spend 2 hours at Tom's Watch Bar sitting in front of 40-ounce beers and unlimited Zins, the alumni game is also going to look a little blurred to many.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. That was class. That's class. I think we can call it there. Another episode in the books. Thank you all for listening to our take on the Premier League this weekend, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
All right, guys, that's a wrap on this week's episode of Remotely Related. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on Apple and Spotify. Check us out on TikTok and Instagram at Remotely Related _. Also on X and YouTube at Remote Related. We'll make sure to catch you all on next week's episode.